Hi there, my name is Logan Fish.
Hi, I'm Lacey Enrico.
Hi, I'm Lily Foskett.
And hi, I'm McKenna Zappia, and this is our award presentation. We are going to be giving the Victor and Vision Award to former President Gerald Ford.
Here we go. Picture yourself in one of the darkest times in American history, asked to step into the highest of offices and lead your country through it, not by choice nor by election, but simply because it is your duty to serve. The nation was in ruins, trust in leadership was shattered, and uncertainty lurked around every corner. As students of Grand Canyon University, we have studied the traits that define what a leader should look like. A leader focuses on honesty, courage, and not only having a vision, but also fulfilling out the vision. Today, we are honored to present the Valor of Vision Award to a gentleman who exemplifies these traits and so much more. He has demonstrated courage by pursuing his vision during one of the most unstable time periods. This is President Gerald R. Ford. Through our thorough research and admiration for his contributions, we are proud to recognize his lasting legacy. Gerald Ford exemplifies the spirit of the Valor Vision Award through his courageous leadership and forward thinking decisions during America's most challenging periods, showing true resilience and integrity that helped guide the nation towards healing and stability. We will be starting off by looking at the historical background that made Gerald Ford so well known and a president to be remembered. Then we will reflect on his characteristics, values, and attributes that made his courageous leadership just so very impactful. And then we will finish off by explaining the importance and the background of the Valor of Vision Award and why Gerald Ford is so greatly deserving of this reward. Let's start by taking a closer look at the pivotal moments of Gerald Ford's life that brought him to the presidency that shaped his legacy.
All right. When Gerald R. Ford became president in 1974, the United States was in a crisis. The Watergate scandal had just led to the resignation of President Richard Nixon, the first and only time a U.S. president has resigned from office. The nation was politically divided, frustrated, and rapidly losing faith in its leaders. Ford, who had not been elected as vice president or president, suddenly stepped into the highest office in the land that almost immediately he made a decision that shocked the country. He granted a full and unconditional pardon to Nixon. This move was deeply unpopular. Many Americans saw it as a betrayal of justice, and it seriously hurt Ford's approval ratings. But Ford wasn't thinking about his political future, he was thinking about the future of this country. He believed that a long, drawn out trial of Nixon would only drag the nation further into turmoil. Instead, he chose healing over division. As Ford said at the time, our long national nightmare is over. Historian John Robert Greene later called Ford's decision an act of presidential courage and long term vision, a moment where Ford chose the good of the country over his own political gain. Ford's actions remind us that the real leadership sometimes means taking the hard choices, the unpopular one, for the sake of the national unity of peace.
While history itself will remember General Ford for the various titles he held, for his embodiment of service to others, for his various accomplishments, and for his compassionate attitude in relation to the significant help of repairing the United States after the aftermath of the Vietnam War, those who personally knew him will remember him as being someone with great integrity and for his genuine care and concern for the overall well-being of others. Ford truly left an impact on the United States, but more specifically to all of the people he knew and to those involved in his life. Many individuals believe that Ford became president not because he was popular with the American public, not because he campaigned for the job, but because of his character. And this is according to PBS.org. Ford spoke in a very captivating manner and had a remarkable ability to encourage and to uplift people, even in times of great doubt and uncertainty. He was said as always remaining calm and composed, even under very stressful circumstances and contexts. His compassion in conflict also showed how he viewed the world and of his commitment to dignity and to the upholding of justice for all. General Ford has truly left an impact on society as a whole, and his leadership role within the nation signified his commitment to serving people over politics and to building a future which is centered on integrity, kindness, and courage. One very admirable quote by President Ford is, "If compassion and mercy are not compatible with politics, then something is the matter with politics." And this came from ArizonaQuotes.com. This specific quote shows how during his presidency, he continuously placed great emphasis and compassion on upholding his morals and beliefs rather than on his own sense of personal gain or rise in power within politics. Friends of his in the past have described him as having a low ego and of being a very committed, courageous, and supportive individual. Lastly, it is important to note that General Ford has left an immensely positive impact on society through his unfaltering commitment to compassionate and kind leadership, unity, integrity, justice, all of which are qualities that have left such an indelible impact on those who knew and loved him. Ford is oftentimes known for his exceptional personality and character and for the way in which he carried himself. He demonstrated authenticity, humility, compassion, strength, and inclusivity, and because of this has shown others what true leadership looks like.
And now getting to why we are all here, the presentation of the Valor and Victor Award. So this award is typically presented to people who are courageous and forward-thinking. As we just learned, Gerald Ford was both of these things, not only in practice, but in performance and perfection. He really brought all of these things to the table and said, hey, obviously, as we just learned, he was thrown into presidency rather sudden and rather abruptly, right? And so he took that and he ran with it. Another part of this award is realizing that it's not always the people at the front of the attention that are deserving, right? A lot of the times it's the people behind the scenes, the people that are quieter. It's not always the biggest and loudest people in the room that are most deserving, but it's in reality the people that are placing in the most effort. And the last aspect of this award is the positive impact on the future. Gerald Ford is still noted and still recognized for his contributions that were made then that are still affecting United States politics today. To be nominated for this award, there needs to be a bravery and difficult situation, as we previously mentioned, getting not only vice presidency but also presidency when he never ran for either certainly qualifies for this. The ability to lead and innovative ideas. He really brought a new perspective to the White House in a place that hadn't been there in a long time. Gerard Ford, oh my goodness, he deserves this award because not only as I previously mentioned, oh my goodness, as I previously mentioned, he made some choices that were very controversial. Not everybody liked the choices he was making. He was incredibly unpopular at the time for making these choices, but he stuck with his guns, and I mean, look what happened. We're a better country because of it. He really chose to benefit national performance over personal gain. He saw the opportunity to improve everybody as a country and chose to do that, even if there was going to be sacrifice to his own career. Even Jimmy Carter, who he ended up losing to, said that he did a good job and that not very many could have done what he did in the cards that he was given. Ford was incredibly forward-thinking. His aims were to restore government trust in a time of insane political turmoil. A book was written about Ford, multiple has been, but a great excerpt from it says, what was needed was not a change of the system or values and the principles that supported it, but the restoration of the moral standards by which Americans expected their leaders to operate. I think this quote is very not only in context now, but can absolutely be taken back then as well. Ford's leadership really was born in a challenging moment of U.S. history. But he went beyond what the call of duty is as a president, and is something that all presidents, past and current, aspire to be.
Throughout this presentation, we have recognized a gentleman who did not seek power, but instead answered a call to serve his country in a time of need, presenting humility and courage in one of America's darkest hours. Gerald Ford's actions and attributes during this time showed the resilience and vision our country desperately needed. In this, we explored Ford's biography and how his experiences shaped him into the person that was capable of assuming the position of the unexpected presidency in a time when it was greatly needed and others would have been too fearful to overtake this position. Then we reflected on his overall characteristics and the qualities that he possessed that earned him the trust, respect, and admirations of those who knew him and know of him now. Finally, we explored the significance of the Valor of Vision Award and how Gerald Ford embodies the qualities that it speaks of, just overall confirming his deservingness of this highest honor. Gerald Ford once said, if compassion and mercy are not compatible with politics, then something is the matter with politics. In a time when division was running rampant and trust was stretched just so very thin, he chose unity. In this, with deepest respect and gratitude, we now present the Valor of Vision Award to the 38th President of the United States, Gerald R. Ford, a leader of the most integrity, courage, and perseverance. Give it up for Gerald Ford.